Woo, I'm fat. Blame my father mostly. You guys might have met him. His name's Papa John. A lot of people say I have a drinking problem, which is a weird thing to say to somebody that drinks a lot of alcohol. It's not a problem. Drink as much as you need me to drink. A lot of people say, Casey, we cannot tell when you're drunk. Is that a good thing? Because that either means that I'm a really boring drunk or I'm a crazy sober. There was a thing that happened to me in college years and years and years, like 20 years ago. I got in trouble for drinking, and so I got sent to the counselor, and the counselor said, we think you probably have a problem with drinking. And I said, well, you just caught me with a beer outside my house, Like, well, you're underage, and we think maybe you need to go into rehab. I said, well, is everything that we say in here confidential? She said, it is. I said, I've killed people. I burned dogs. Someone taking a phone call over there? It was a rough patch in college because I was a theater major, and you just get A's for showing up. Like, all my friends are in business school and they're like studying their asses off, and I literally, this is a true story, I took makeup classes. How do you mess up makeup? You just put it on your face and they're like, that's too dark, and I'm like, I know. I'm meant to do that. It doesn't fit your complexion. I know, my character in this particular thing is sick. I'm not, I'm a dad, by the way. Round of applause for people that are dads. I always like it when comedians do that. Give me a round of applause for a thing I just said. I'm a dad, and my kids are asses. I mean, they're the meanest people, which I deserve, because I was a shitty kid. My mom was really frustrated with me. I was 7 years old, and every time she'd punish me and send me upstairs, I'd pee in my bedroom. And, like, I was 7. Like, so, and I didn't care, because boys don't care about the smell of stuff. You know what I mean? So, my mom didn't know what to do, so one day she just came upstairs and she said, hey, Casey, we gotta go. I don't have time to clean this up. The maggots are gonna come. I said, the what? Yeah, when you don't clean up pee, you get maggots. What? Yeah, so you gotta go to this birthday party, and when you come back, your room's gonna be covered in maggots. And when you sleep at night and you hear things crawling on the walls, you might think it's a ghost, which is also real. But it's maggots, and they'll come up under the ceiling and they'll fall into your bed. And in fact, do you guys remember popcorn ceilings? You guys probably still have some of them in your house. She's like, see, this is referred to as a popcorn ceiling. You know why that's the case? Because they're made of popcorn. Maggots love popcorn. And they'll live up there and they'll reproduce. So even if we clean the entire room, we'll never get rid of them. Now let's go to Ryan's birthday party. And my mom is the only person in the entire world that can punish a kid by taking them to a birthday party. Because at that whole time during the birthday party, I'm freaking out. I'm looking at all these kids having a great time. I'm looking at this bounce house, and this is before like everyone had bounce houses. This is like a rich kid birthday party, like 1986 type of situation where they needed like a lot of help to get like the bounce house. Not the ones that like fly away, you know, with kids that you don't care about type of thing. But like, this is back when people cared about other people. And I'm just watching, and I watch this one kid and I go, oh God, Danny's in the bounce house. That kid pisses his pants. There's gonna be maggots in that bitch. So we get home, and obviously the house is not covered in maggots. My mother says, "Oh, thank God." The thing is, my mom told me that story 2 years ago. I'm 36 years old. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and both of those children have spotless fucking diapers. I thought until that time that urine turned into maggots, until my mom told me otherwise. Did I tell you I was a theater major, by the way? So that's it. You guys ready to get this show started? Oh, come on. You can do better than that. You guys ready to get the show started? All right. Coming to the stage, a very, 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 very funny guy. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Miguel.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. How are you doing tonight? Welcome to Fantasy Island. Tonight, the part of Miguel will be played by a Puerto Rican. Holy shit! Damn, really? Oh my God! Darn right. Oh my God! Really? Who are these people? My God! You know, how can you pick a Puerto Rican out of a crowd? Really? You know, how can you tell? So imagine that you are in a yoga class. You know, you want to get laid, just throw a Puerto Rican in there. You know what I mean? All of a sudden you'll be going, okay, let him do his thing. Before you know it, you'll be going, pose! Posture! And all of a sudden it's like, namaste! Arriba el song! It's like, my God, see, it's that kind of thing that my mom tried to help me with to grow up. It was very hard to do. So what happened was that she started looking for some reinforcements. So she got this number, 411, which was a direct line of communication to my personal information in heaven. Imagine that. It's like, wow, she's going to go really up there. And she went angels and demons on me one time. All of a sudden, you know, she's talking to these people and telling them that we needed some help. So they told her that they needed to take Miguelito to church Sunday mornings. Sunday mornings? What? You imagine that? I mean, I cannot believe that. I just can't do it. Because in the morning on Sundays, I just love to go play baseball all the time. So imagine that. You know, she dragged me out of bed one time. I was dreaming. I was having so much fun. You know, I was like laughing. I'm smiling. I'm like, I'm sleeping already. You know, I'm like, actually, I was in heaven. So why did I have to go out of heaven to get back to heaven again? Here I am. I'm looking around. I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, this is going to happen, really. So she drags me out of bed one morning. She puts me in there, and she goes, Miguelito, I'm going to get right now. I'm like, oh no, Mom, not to church again. Please don't hurt me now. So before you know it, I'm dragging my feet out there. I'm half asleep. It was about maybe half a mile to get there, but it felt like it was 15 miles for me. So I was like about a foot tall. I'm dragging myself up there. I'm resisting everything. It took her about an hour and a half to get there because she was saying hello to everybody. You know how we are? Hey, hola, ¿cómo estamos? Chévere, how you doing? Good morning, ¿cómo estamos? Today we're going to go to church with my little boy right here. And you can see that. It's like she will dress me up with all these different colors and everything. Everybody will make fun of me. I'm like, no, please. By the time we get to church, I'm like so pissed off already. You know, she grabs me by the hand, kung fu grip, puts me in there. All of a sudden I'm laying inside, and all of a sudden, hey, there's El Padre again, otra vez. All of a sudden it's like saying the same bullshit that he was saying every Sunday. I'm like, no, man, don't believe that. But I felt like that particular morning, God was speaking to me directly. I said, this is a straight communication with him. I got his voice in my mind, and I was thinking, man, you know, he's talking to me now, and I'm thinking, Miguelito, this is your Heavenly Father. What the hell are you doing in there still, man? Come on, get the hell out of there. I give you permission, so I just went ahead. I went back, I crawled my way out there, and I began to like feel like dun, 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 dun. So I pop out of there, my mom is looking for me. She's really desperate, furious, talking to me in sign language like she was really cursing me. I'm like, come down today. I'm like, I'm out of here because I said, all right, my mom is still looking for me at this stage. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you see her, don't tell her that you saw me here tonight. So thank you very much. It's been great. I appreciate you being here tonight. my hand.
One more time for Miguel, guys. Let him hear it. Let Miguel hear it, guys. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep this show on the road. Everyone's set. Everyone got a good seat. Everyone good? Happy? Can everyone see? Raise your hand if you got a blank seat. If you got an empty seat next to you. If anyone wants to change, musical chairs, anything like that. Everyone good? Awesome. Good. All right, let's get your next comedian out here. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good friend of mine. She's very funny. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Rebecca.
So, my single ladies out there, you can back me up on this. Guys hardly ever actually call anymore, right? It's all texting these days, am I right? Yeah. So, I went on a date recently, and the next day I was like waiting for the text, and then my phone actually rang. I was like, ooh, this guy's a keeper. So I look at the phone. Turns out it's the automated system from CVS reminding me to pick up my birth control, which sadly I don't even really need these days. Honestly, you guys, it's been so long since I've had sex, I'm getting ready to launch a Go Fuck Me campaign. Donations welcome. My grandmother is probably rolling over in her grave hearing me talk like that. My grandmother was really influential. I inherited a lot from her, like my fashion sense, my love for Barbra Streisand, and a severe case of body dysmorphia. Yeah, my grandmother was really critical of my weight. She used to say things like, oh, if you just lost 10 pounds, you'd be a knockout. Which was like a really harsh thing to say to a 5-year-old. Gosh. Her favorite holiday was Yom Kippur, which is like the most sacred, holiest day for Jewish people, where we atone for our sins by fasting for an entire day. My grandmother called it the 24-hour miracle diet. She just wished that it lasted 8 days like Hanukkah. Honestly though, my grandmother was really encouraging. I remember her saying to me, Rebecca, I'm so proud of you. You're smart, you're beautiful, you're accomplished. We could probably find you a husband if we could just do something about your big ass. She wasn't a fan of the booty. So where are my single people at? Yeah. Don't you guys love it when people ask you why you're single? Like, what are you supposed to say? Well, my parents got divorced when I was 4 and my dad left, so I have some pretty serious rejection and abandonment issues. Really damage my self-esteem, so I tend to attract men that are either physically or emotionally unavailable, who reinforce my insecurities by ultimately rejecting me. So I've created a self-fulfilling prophecy in which I've convinced myself that I'm unlovable and unworthy of love, and that I'm never gonna get married or have children, and I'm gonna die alone. So like, I probably just haven't met the right person yet. So, since I'm single, I live alone. Anyone else live alone? Living alone is cool, but I do have one fear. So I don't know any of my neighbors, and I don't have a boyfriend to check up on me. So I'm convinced that if I drop dead in my apartment, it's gonna be weeks before anybody actually notices. So I'm too young and really too vain to wear the life alert. But I've thought of a way to update it. I've invented a new app, and I'm calling it Death Alert. The way it works is it knows I'm dead if it doesn't hear me cry myself to sleep at night. But honestly, my biggest fear, even worse than that, is the longer I lay there rotting, the worse I'm gonna look. And the last thing I want to hear when I get to heaven is my grandmother being like, well, you finally lost weight, but you're so pale, couldn't you put on a little lipstick? It's interesting that I don't know any of my neighbors, because growing up, we were really close with a family that lived right down the street. We did everything together, holidays, birthdays, lots of sleepovers. I would sleep over at their house, their daughter would sleep over at my house. Then their dad started sleeping over at my house, and then my dad started sleeping over at their house. So after that, all of our sleepovers were dictated by the custody agreement. But honestly, as far as divorces go, my parents was like the most convenient. I mean, my best friend became my stepsister. The walk between my mom and my dad's place was super easy, and block parties doubled as family reunions. Super easy. So, yeah, that's kind of a little insight as to why I have trouble with men, right? Yeah, I don't date much. The last time I got asked on a date was when a guy on the street yelled out to me, "Ooh, girl, I want to wear you like a pair of earmuffs." That walk of shame out of his cardboard box the next morning was so embarrassing. Woo-wee. Yikes. Yeah, I've been rejected by men a lot. Even at my last gynecologist appointment, the doctor had a violent sneezing fit within inches of my lady parts. So I'm like, great, how's a normal guy going to react down there if a vagina expert is allergic to it? But hey guys, don't worry, I got you covered. I always keep Claritin in my nightstand. That's my time, guys. Thank you.
Come on, guys, let her hear it. Show her some love. That's Bex, guys. I wonder if we could use generic Claritin. I'm cheap. I don't. Generic on the shelf there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys ready for your next comedian? All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for very funny comedian Leandra, guys. Let her hear it, guys.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Good, good. So, it's kind of a weird reason why I'm here tonight. So, Black Lives Matter called Sick Puppies, and they asked the host, Casey. They said, "Casey, you have way too many white people performing tonight. You need at least one black person. Can you get that sexy Whoopi Goldberg looking chick out?" That's why I'm here. So, does anybody have Caribbean parents? Cool, cool. So my parents are Jamaican, and I'll give a little backstory about Caribbean parents. There's usually only two types of Caribbean parents. One, it's like, the parents love each other, they have 2 kids. The kids are, normal, they're all fine, the parents have great money and everything. And there's the second type of parents where the father has, several kids with all different women. The mother is trying to keep it together. They have about 7, 8, 9 kids, and then the kids grow up kind of fucked up. So I'm the last of 7. Well, technically 8, but we don't really count that kid. But, my parents, they're good parents. They said the normal parenty things like, things happen for a reason, actions speak louder than words, do as I say, not as I do. And if you think about do as I say, not as I do, that's pretty much saying, hey kid, I'm a piece of shit. And I know that. I'm well aware of my piece of shittiness. But I don't want you to be like me. I'll continue being me, but I don't want you to be like me. So I'm gonna tell you everything that you should do while I keep being a piece of shit. So, being the goody two-shoes that I was, I did what my parents said, and so far I've graduated from college, I got a really decent job, I recently bought a house. Woo! The thing about my job is that it's really corporate and professional, which is like weird going right out of college. And they have really, really long hallways. And it gets really awkward in the hallways, but I just got so tired of the awkwardness that when I see somebody coming and they're looking everywhere else except you, I just smile and wave at them the whole time. And, they don't see me because they're looking everywhere else. I can do whatever the hell I want. Another thing about my job is that, they're really progressive. They hire a lot of women, which is awesome, they promote women, they pay everybody well, and they're really progressive when it comes to women, and it's great. The only thing I can't really stand about my job is that they hire so many fucking women. I'm so tired of this shit. Every time a guy leaves, they hire a woman. Like I'm 24 years old, I'm single, and I work a full-time job, so it's really hard to find people. So, you can't really find anybody at work when it's all women, especially when they come up to you and they're like, hey, you have such great boobs, I wish I had boobs like yours. I was like, well, thank you, fellow vagina wielder. I can't really do anything with that, but luckily there's a gay guy in my department, and he feels up my boobs, which is nice. I mean, at least we're getting into like the penis realm when he touches me, so it's a little bit nicer. So like I said, I'm 24, I'm single, and dating has been really weird because like suddenly everybody's just online. Online dating's just a new thing now. So I've been using this app called Tinder. Has anybody used Tinder or heard of it? And from the lack of noise, I guess everybody's couples in here. Well, anyway, like Tinder, you swipe right at somebody's face, and right is like you like this person, left is that you don't like this person. So you only know if you match with that person if they like you too. So back in the day, Tinder was pretty cool, like I would swipe right, and I'd get matched with pretty much every guy because every guy would just swipe right for everybody. But, so like it really like boosted my self-esteem. I was like, okay. Well, I guess I'm the shit. I guess I'm hotter than I thought. Oh, okay. But nowadays, you can't swipe right to everyone, you have to pay that now. Which, yeah, exactly. And so, like nowadays when I'm using Tinder, it's just sadness. Oh, a match. Fuck it, it's spam. Anyways, that's my time for tonight.
Man, I was just on Tinder, but it costs too much money to swipe right. I sent her that spam, by the way. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your next comedian, very funny guy, really, really incredible. I can't wait for you guys to see his set. Going to be a big treat for you. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mark, everybody!
How is everybody doing tonight? So how many of you work out on a semi-regular basis? Okay. So I went to my gym this week and I decided to start a petition for people not to be allowed to eat Chipotle 2 hours before their workout. You're with me so far? Okay. You have a great workout and then you're ready to go. And it's that inevitable time where you've got to actually take a piss. And you have to walk into that locker room and someone has just dumped out a fudge baby Chipotle child. You gotta hide your water bottle under your arm. Try and do this just so you can get in and out of there. Crazy. I like the gym though, because it's social, but you don't have to be social. You can kind of just do your workout, get it over with, and then you just kind of move on. But you can't do that with every facet of life, which fortunate and unfortunate. Like work, for example. Work with a lot of great people. I worked with one lady who went to Russia. And she had never, ever in her life met another gay man before. Didn't get the whole man-on-man thing, women-on-women thing, and inappropriate times always would ask questions. Now I'm in retail, so we work with the public. So in the floor, in front of other customers, in her Russian accent. I don't understand, Mark. Have you never felt a woman's teeth before? How supple it feels. And then have you never, and that's when I kind of just stopped her. I'm like, honey, I don't go for the caviar either, just give me a kielbasa anytime. Thank you very much. Coming out's never easy. Colleagues, not too bad. How about with your parents though? That was one of the most interesting stories for me. Moved on on my own, get your own place, decided, okay, I'm gonna have the conversation finally, and I knew how to do it. Have lots of liquor available for myself and for my parents. A bottle of whiskey, a case or two of wine, and then, okay, I'm gonna tell the story. My parents, my mom, right away knew. She's gonna cry on cue and blame herself. And that's exactly what she did. But my father, was this real man's man. Didn't know what his take was gonna be on this whole thing, and I was kind of waiting and seeing what he was gonna say. So his comment to me was this: you know, Mark, I was hitchhiking one summer, and it was a long drive back, and the guy that picked me up said, let's just spend the night at a hotel. Now, I grew up with 7 brothers and sisters. Never thought anything of spending a night in bed with another man or another woman. In the middle of the night, Mark, I felt something creep up my rear end, and I can understand how you might enjoy something like that. That's when Mom decided, okay, I need to be a little bit cooler about this. I've been kind of a wreck, and at this point she's been drinking a little bit more, and at this point she's slurring her speech, and she decides to come out with, your sister and I, we were talking about oral sex the other day. Mark, do you spit or swallow? She denied ever saying that until my deathbed. Funny parent stories are always a gem, and we're not quite done with my mom yet. So, my parents retired to Florida long before I moved here. My father had a vanity plate, easy, first name, last initial. Can't get much easier than that. My mom had to do it a little bit more complicated. So my mother's name was Barbara Jane Landry. That's what she wanted on the license plate. Not gonna happen, right? She compromised to BJ. Fine. All right. But then they couldn't fit the whole last name on there either. And I actually brought the proof. So this is what my mother drove around with. For the last 10 years of her life. Naive Catholic woman, not a clue. Until I came for a visit and had to drive the car. Men were rolling down their windows with cash. Mom, do you get it now? Do you get it? She finally retired the plate, but now it's mine. So, if you need a ride tonight, I have signed up with Uber as an XL. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Sounds like a fun ride. I don't know which end of it I'd like to be on. Probably both. We'll figure it out. Been married for like 10 years. I'll take anything. I'm gonna go talk to Mark. I'll be right back, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys ready for your next comedian? Very funny person, good friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Barbara, everybody!
Teenagers are terrible. I know this because I live with one. My son Tyler. He's a great kid, but he's super bossy, super rule-oriented, and super protective of his single mom. I don't know how he got this way. I only forgot to pick him up from school once. 3 hours late. Well, he did catch me having sex with someone. My ex-husband. Also his father. Well, his naked father. his naked, erect father, puffing, sweating, satisfied father. You remember, Tyler, you were there. I didn't give Tyler a curfew when he was in high school, but he gave me one. 11 p.m., no exceptions. I thought I'd get a break from the teenager when he went off to college, but the fucking pussy decided to stay home a year to follow his dreams. I've waited 18 years to drink bourbon with my Wheaties while reading the newspaper naked, puffing, sweating, satisfied. I thought I'd get out of the house by taking this 5-level, 35-week improv comedy thing. Thought I'd have a few hours away from the teenager and some laughs. And I did have more than a few laughs. And a shitload of anxiety, and a run-in with clinical depression. But hey, if that's your thing, definitely give improv a try. Actually, a couple really good things to come out of improv. I started partying way more. That's right. And I finally got to smoke some weed. When I had my improv friends over, I found them outside with the strict rule-following teenager, and I felt obligated to give it a try. So I took in a nice big drag, tried to hold it, started coughing like crazy, triggered my asthma. Long story short, I'm still pissing out pot. Reminded me once again, yeah, I'm 40-something. I did get a boyfriend from improv. That's right. The horrible thing is, he's all emotionally available and relationship oriented. What the fuck is wrong with him? To make matters worse, he's way closer in age to the teenager than he is to me. So they're comfortable hanging out, playing video games, and drinking my beer. Now I'm basically living with a teenage stoner college dropout and his new best friend, mom's boyfriend. So to get out of the house, I went ahead and decided to give stand-up a try. How am I doing? But it's cool. Now that I'm drinking again, the anxiety is much more tolerable. And Tyler has let me know that if I have a night where I drink too much, he's happy to give me or any of my friends a ride home. So don't drink and drive tonight, guys. Give Tyler a call. The only payment he accepts is you listening to his lectures about making good choices. And a joint for his mom. But seriously, my son is wonderful. And he's been a very good sport for me tonight. And I love him so much. That said, let's do some shots. Thank you.
Tyler's phone number is 561-283-PARENT. Is the number there. Man, what a great night. You guys having fun so far tonight? It's a funny-ass group of people. They're pretty good at what they do. Our next comedian, someone that I've known for quite a long time. She's very funny. So happy to have her on our Sick Puppy stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Bev, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hi. So, I recently celebrated a birthday. Woo! Thank you. Does anyone else share their birthday with Jesus Christ? Some of you, I can tell that that's true. It sucks.
It does.
Jesus Christ always gets more attention than I do. He always has. I'm that person who gets the 2 presents in one. It's Happy Birthday, Merry Christmas. It's in a box wrapped with leftover Christmas paper that's all wrinkled and torn. We're going to put it together with 50 pieces of tape. Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday. Jesus Christ. Damn it. My birthday always sucks. But this year my family decided to take me out for a really nice dinner, finally. Yes, thank you. So we went to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse so they could use the gift cards I gave them. Really? And I get there and I want to have a good time. I want to enjoy my birthday. It's all about me tonight. But I can't get over the name of the restaurant. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Does that bother anyone else? I know. What is that? Who the fuck is Ruth? And who is Chris? And how do they know each other? I'm so confused and I need to know things. So I'm thinking if her name is Ruth Chris, then why isn't it Ruth Chris's Steakhouse? But it's not. And then I'm thinking if it's Ruth's Chris's Steakhouse, then that would mean that Ruth owns Chris. But that can't be right because Ruth can't own Chris. You can't own people in this country. Are you sure? I don't know. So then I thought that maybe Chris is a type of steakhouse that I'm not aware of, like a Western steakhouse or something. So I go to the Google on my phone and I search Chris. And actually a definition for Chris comes up in the Urban Dictionary. Apparently, Chris is slang for cock. Does anyone use Chris? Like, anyone know? Okay, one guy does. All right, we're not judging you at all. We're totally judging you. So anyway, I find, and I think, Ruth, is that what you're saying? Ruth's cock steak? I just want to go home to dinner, you guys. I don't want to think about that. And I have trouble saying the word cock. I just have trouble saying it. It reminds me of this time that I was in a play where I thought the line was, what a huge clock. And the director said, what? And I thought he wanted a different interpretation. So I said, what a huge clock. And he goes, the word is cock, Bev. It's just cock. It's just cock. Can you just say cock? Just say cock. Just say cock. I'm like, cock. What a huge cock. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. I can't do it. So I still had to get to the bottom of this whole Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. So I go back to the Google and I search history of Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. So we're all going to learn something tonight, guys. You will know when you go there now. Apparently there was this guy named Chris, and he owned a steakhouse, and he just called it Chris Steakhouse. Maybe he couldn't afford an apostrophe on the side. I don't know. Or maybe he never took an English class in his life. Anyway, he called it Chris Steakhouse, and then Ruth bought it, and she called it Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. She could have just called her Ruth's Steakhouse, but she didn't. Anyway, the thing is, all we got it for $280 after the $200 gift cards was a piece of meat on a plate. And I just want to say, Ruth, you can keep your steak. You can keep your plate. You can keep your Chris, whoever the hell he is. Because the next time I go out to eat, I'm going to go to Okeechobee Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where everything we know is in the name. It's on Okeechobee. Yeah. And it's a steakhouse. Right? Yes. Yes. So let's go there. Thank you very much. I own no stock in Okeechobee Steakhouse, but maybe I should. All right, so It was not a good birthday dinner because I had all of this on my mind. So I went home and I went to my best friend of Facebook. And I had to post a picture of my steak because I thought maybe I'd get some birthday attention. And then right underneath that, my friend Judy posted a picture of her dog, Buka, that died. Oh, I know. Rest in peace, Buka. Whatever. Like, no, you're getting me wrong. Like, I like dogs. I don't like dogs. I don't like dogs. But dogs want me to love them. I can be at a whole party full of people enjoying my vodka soda splash of crayon, and that dog is on me, not on anybody else. That dog is humping my leg. That dog is sniffing my crotch. I'm like, really? They want me to love them. And people are always, oh, you need a dog, you need a dog. They'll keep you safe, they're so comforting, they'll make you calm. I'm like, I'm fine. I am perfectly calm. I do not need a fucking dog to make me calm, all right? Damn it. Rest in peace, Buka. Buka got 352 little prayer hand emojis. And I didn't get a single like for my steak. I know, thanks guys. So my birthday sucked again. Ruth, Chris, Weimaraner. I didn't even say this. Buka is like an 8-foot-long Weimaraner. The last time I was at Judy's house, he sat down next to me on the couch like he's trying to get me to love him. And he's looking at me like this. He's like, love me, Bev, love me, Bev, love me, Bev. I'm like, oh, no, Buka, I am never going to love you. And then he licks me. I'm sorry, I don't feel that bad that Buka died. Don't judge. Okay? But here's the thing, I really tried to enjoy my birthday, but again, Weimaraner, Jesus Christ! Maybe next year. Thanks, guys.
Not take her to the Tri-County Humane Society. I just imagine her going down the aisle. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Put that one down, it's ugly. I brought my steak with me, it's delicious. I'll eat it in front of your cages. All right, guys, your next comedian is a very funny guy. Put your hands together for Dean, everybody!
Out of the way real quick. How we doing, everybody? Good crowd, good crowd, good crowd. Give it up for the comics that's come up so far. Yeah, good people, good people. Give it up for Casey. Yeah, Casey, the guy that's just here. There we go. Awesome. How many of us love restaurants? 4 of us. Good to go. The rest of us are like, I cook. I love some of the fine dining restaurants that we have here. One of my favorites, I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, Hooters. Love it. Love it. It's a classy joint, good food, well-dressed ladies, you know, best place to have a family dinner. And I was there one afternoon, which is the only time you can really be there without feeling like a pervert. And I asked the well-dressed server that came to my table, what kind of chicken wings do you have tonight? And she goes, well, without hesitation, this is the best part. Well, tonight we have chicken, we've got buffalo, we've got a little bit of pork. I'm like, wait a minute. Did you just tell me you have chicken wings? Good to go. We're winning already. Buffalo wings, it's kind of what I came here for, but the pork wings are throwing me off here. What's going on? It's like, well, let me get a manager. Sure. This kind of underlines the wonderful, like, Mensa students that we have in the restaurant industry. Okay? I work in a restaurant right now that really has some, winners that come to your table. Okay? This is the type of place that really spends about an hour and a half staring and conducting an emergency staff meeting over a piece of paper that's been sitting there for over an hour and a half. Where the manager's going, we don't know what we're gonna do, guys, but there's a piece of paper sitting there and I don't know what to do. It's just sitting there. And I'm just standing in the back going, just pick it up. What? Just pick it up. What? Pick it up! Thank you. So, this really, I mean, these people have no idea how many wonderful people come through the restaurant. The customers are even better. I love the customers. I had a customer one day who decided to sit down and drop his Bentley keys right on the table. Bet you haven't seen one of those today, huh? I said, no, sir. It's 4 o'clock. It's still kind of early. Give it some time. He got a little upset about that one. He was really angry about that one. So when the bill came, he drops the black card on the bill. Bet you haven't seen one of those tonight, huh? Sir, dinner took about an hour. You're at my only table. It's still kind of early. Here's the kicker of the whole story. I go to the little computer that we have. I'm telling all the servers, hey, look at this. Black card. Nice. Get a good big tip. Run it through. Beep, beep. Bleep, bleep. Bleep, bleep. Sir, your wonderful black card is declined. His trophy wife, both about 18, 19 years old, looks at him and just goes, I'm not paying for that. Needless to say, she did have to. That was my favorite part. So, yeah, that was the best part of the whole situation. Now, how many of us have a mother that we love? Come on, none of you love your mothers? Wow, nice. So yeah, she's not in the room, who cares? Right? Get her. Mine is. Feels a little warm in here, doesn't it? So, let me tell you a wonderful story about my mother. She's 47 going on 12. And it really feels like she's in tune with the world. You know? Still watches MTV. I don't know how. I traveled the world. Let me give you a little synopsis before I finish the story here. I traveled the world, and I loved it. All right, that's as far as I'm going to go with it, because I'm not going to bore you with the rest of it. So she sits me down when I come back from this wonderful travel, and I'm indulging in one of those wonderful herbal refreshments, you know. And she kind of course, rips it out of my hand, which was even better. Thank you. And just starts to talk to me about how I have responsibilities now. I'm 20, get a job, hurry up and get the hell out of my house. That was one of the main things. And as she's going on, she's saying, you know, just keep, you know, make sure that you can have your friends over. Just make sure you keep it on the lowdown. And as she's talking, I'm as you do to mom. Sure, mom. Out in one ear and out the other. And she continues talking until it clicks with me. Wait a minute. Wait a second. About 10 minutes ago, Mom, I don't know if I've been smoking way too much, but did you just say keep it on the lowdown? She goes, yeah. You didn't hear what I said? I said, well, R. Kelly, let's keep it on the down low. Just look, I don't give a flying how you keep it. Just keep your stoner fucking friends quiet and out of my fucking way. And don't eat all of my fucking food, okay? I was like, okay, Mom, sure. Why not? I think that's it for me tonight, guys. Have a wonderful night. Thank you very much.
Comedian tonight. Very, very, very funny person. You guys are going to enjoy yourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Deanna!
Hey everyone, how's everyone doing tonight?
Hi.
So, before I came here tonight, I looked at my mom. She's watching this, and I'm like, can you believe I'm doing this? She goes, honey, into saying shit all your life. So, before I get started, people usually just stand here and they grab the mic. But if I grab here, I start to think bad things. So, anyways, I've been married for 13 years now, and people are always asking me, how do you make it work? So, around 7 years, pastor of my church said, why don't you go to this family life marriage conference? It's for Christians. If you want your marriage to last, you gotta go. Has anyone here ever been to one of those? Technically, either have I. So anyways, it's a 4-day retreat, and we go, and the first night, they tell us, go on a date, get to know each other all over again. Pray. So, we go back to our room and we end up fucking for the entire 4-day weekend. I said Jesus a lot, so that counts. So, we have been married a long time, and we're always trying to find new and interesting ways for sex positions. You know, it's especially hard for us because we've only had sex with each other our whole marriage. I found some really good resources, Google Images, YouTube, the Cosmopolitan magazine. And who comes up with these sex position names like butter churner or a hole puncher? Is there an actual job where someone sits there all day and comes up with these names? I could totally do that. I've already come up with some of my own. The Grumpy Salesman, the Swiffer Wet Jet, the Willy Wonka, and the Jaundiced Ethiopian. Anyways, I have learned a lot the past couple weeks, and I actually recently learned, did you know a guy's dick can actually break? I thought that was a myth. I promise you it can. But my husband's fine. He should be fine. I hope. I love him. You know, he's a really great guy. And you always think that the person you marry is someone that you can go to and you can tell him your problems and no judgment. And he's there for you. So I shared a story with my husband when I was in high school. Really hard time for me. And people used to make horse sounds when I would walk through the halls. And it got really bad to the point where I went to the cafeteria one day, and this one guy goes, "Oh, here comes the horse!" And I realized that they're making fun of my teeth. I have really big teeth and really big gums. So my husband, he goes, "It's all right, Mr. Ed." And he starts playing his song, "A horse is a horse, of course," and then he gets the kids involved. And the kids are running around the house, they're going, "Mommy's got horse teeth! Mommy's got horse teeth!" You know, it's not like I go around making fun of my husband's 5.5-inch dick. Or the fact that one of his balls went back inside of him when he fell on a pile of toys. I'm just going to be better example. You guys probably have a lot in common. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm from a family of felons. My dad, my aunt, cousins. It's got to be easy. I mean, for all of them to just go to prison, it's got to be easy. So I actually tried to get arrested a few times. I went to Walmart and I found a surveillance camera and I pretended to put stuff in my purse. And I went to the parking lot and nobody stopped me. You know, I jaywalked in front of a police car and it slowed down. So I could just walk across illegally. I mean, I guess I won't ever be arrested. So, this one last thing I'll share. Today, actually, you know how you can wear jeans more than once? Well, I grabbed a pair of jeans that I wore like 3 days ago, and I put them on for work today. And I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm like, what is this? And I put my hand down my pants, and I pull out underwear that I wore 3 days ago in these jeans. I'm at work, and my boss walks by me, and I'm like, everything's fine. I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to do with these? So, I don't know if that's happened to anyone else. Anyways, have a good night. Oh, Jess, I love you.
Her husband may or may not be in here. Bet you regret those horse jokes. Oh man, man, what a great night! What just a wonderful group of comedians, and I can't wait to keep the show going. I got to tell you guys something. This particular gentleman's going to come out with his script, and you're going to go, "What the shit is this?" Here's the thing. You're going to hear his story, which is all 100% true. You guys are going to get blown away by this one. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Joshua, everybody.
All right, let's get this first part out of the way. I have epilepsy. So on the off chance that I were to happen to fall down and have a seizure up here, do me a huge solid, turn me on my side so I don't choke on my own vomit, push me off so the show can keep going on. Unless one of my jokes offends you, and then what you're gonna wanna do is leave me on my back. So before I was epileptic, I believed that it was possible to swallow your tongue while having a seizure. So I learned you're supposed to stick something in the mouth to prevent them from swallowing their tongue. First of all, that's a load of shit. You ain't gonna swallow your fucking tongue. That is not going to happen. The things I heard you're supposed to stick in the mouth are a spoon or a wallet. You stick a wallet in my mouth, your wallet's mine. If you stick a spoon in my mouth, your wallet's mine. I gotta pay for shattered teeth. So I had my first seizure in Cozumel, Mexico, and that was awkward. My Spanish is muy malo. So some of the conversations with the nurses was a little, nurse, I need to pee. You just want me to go in this, lying down? Okay. Can I stand up? You're gonna stay in the room, huh? Yeah, real long. And since we had no idea that I was even epileptic, they wanted to do an exploratory surgery.
Oh, no.
And while they were in there, you know, maybe take out my appendix.
Oh.
Well, I'm thinking the pain is over here, and the appendix is over on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and pass on that. I still have my appendix, and it is still worthless. Medications. Oh boy. Those can backfire in a major way. You ever notice that they have about 1 trillion negative side effects and maybe 1 or 2 intended effects? So, all right, I got this new anti-seizure medication. Side effects may include head, chest, stomach pain, blurred vision, inability to urinate proper, sleepiness and or insomnia, pale skin, increased seizures, easy bruising. Wait, what? Increased seizures? So it can do the exact opposite of what it was intended to do. It's like an umbrella that turns into a faucet. It's like brakes that turn into a gas pedal. So, over the years, I spent plenty of time in hospitals and hotel rooms, and I gotta say, hospitals are so much nicer. Like seriously, if you ever hit that point in your insurance where they're gonna cover all the expenses and you get a choice between hospital and hotel, go with hospital. Because the rooms, infinitely cleaner. The food is much better and actually delivered to you in a timely and courteous manner. The room service acknowledges your calls to them and promptly fills requests. The odds of an orgy having occurred in your room right before you got there are significantly slim. Tipping isn't required. In fact, it's outlawed. And unlike hotels, hospitals will deliver the drugs straight to you. So it got to a point where I actually needed to have a seizure to figure out where the fuck in the brain it was happening to address it. So we drilled some wires in there. I say we, it was really the doctors and nurses who did the drilling. We drilled some wires in here and attached them to a machine. I was trapped in a room. I felt like a cyborg prisoner. I was trapped there for 3 weeks. So, 3 weeks, man. And I didn't have a seizure in those 3 weeks, of all the times to not have a seizure. So it got to the next step. The docs decided, all right, we're gonna cause it with electricity. So he fiddled with my brain to prove that he could. He made me turn my head to the side without my say-so. Made my nose feel like it's running like a faucet. It was dry as a bone, people. Yeah. So he played puppeteer with my dummy body, and once he was done with that, he jolted a seizure into me. And while I'm in that room convulsing all wildly, the docs and nurses are high-fiving each other like the Broncos fans on Super Bowl night. So it finally came down to brain surgery. I was told possible side effects may include memory loss, headaches, and memory loss. Well, it took me 5 seconds to opt for the surgery because, hey, not like I'd remember if it went wrong. Haven't had a seizure since. Thank you all so much. My name is... My name is Joshua.
Give it for Joshua, everybody! I have seen pictures of the inside of his brain on a plate. That dude is amazing. Man, oh man, Joshua's a funny son of a bitch. All right, I could use some electrotherapy, I think. Josh, you can plug me in anytime you like. Your next comedian, ladies and gentlemen, very, very, very funny person, has an incredible voice. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Kate, everybody. everybody.
Hey everybody. So I lost my virginity when I was 19. I know that doesn't seem that old necessarily, but there are 12-year-olds who are sexting nowadays. So comparatively, I had like cobwebs in my vagina. I lost my virginity to my gay best friend Kevin. So lucky. I was a 19-year-old virgin. He was a closeted gay man. We had a bottle of tequila, and the rest was pretty much history. We had so much in common, me and Kevin. We both loved musical theater, we both loved fashion, being on bottom, you know. Match made in heaven. You know, after we had sex the first time, well, the only time, he was looking at pictures of my family, and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, he's picturing us together. He's like, is that your brother? He didn't call me for a couple weeks after that, and then, you know, he finally did, and he was like, hey, I really need to talk to you about something. I need to talk to you about it in person. And I was like, Kevin, are you pregnant? Am I pregnant? Oh no, I would know if I was pregnant probably, right? So, oh my God, he has an STD, right? But a decent human being, if you had gonorrhea, they would call or text you, right? They would email you. They'd be like, hey girl, check that shit out. I must have something way worse. Like, I have herpes or something. And I'm just like thinking of those herpes commercials where there's a couple walking hand in hand. And it's like, you don't have to live with herpes alone. And they're at a farmer's market, and you're like, enjoy that tomato. That's the only thing going in your mouth tonight. You know, I'm like kind of stupid because I'm 19, so I'm like, oh my God, I have AIDS, obviously, right? So I go to lunch with Kevin, and we sit down, and he's like, Kate, what I'm about to tell you is really serious. And I'm like, if Magic Johnson can do it, I can do it, Kev. And he's like, that's so random. Okay. No, Kate, I'm gay. And I'm like, but do you have AIDS? I was like, that's a stereotype that I really don't appreciate. I thought you were gonna be so much more supportive about this. Well, I didn't know I was stupid. I didn't have sex ever. When you're in high school and you have back knee and frizzy hair and crippling depression, you know, people don't really want to fuck you. I'm in math class, I'm like, ooh, and so like, it's long division. You're gonna make it, you're gonna get it. No, but like one time I was 16, I didn't have my period for like 6 months. And like, I'm not about to go talk to my mom about that because parents don't like their kids until you can both legally drink. It's the only way you can stand one another. I'm not about to go to my mom, like, Mom. She's like at the kitchen counter, like having a cocktail. She's like, oh my God, you still live here? I'm 10. Yeah, I'm 10, Mom. No, so I decide, you know, I'm gonna go on the internet and check that out. So I go on WebMD and I'm like, haven't had a period for 6 months, and it's like, holy shit, you're pregnant. And I'm like, oh my God. And it's like, or you have brain cancer or gangrene or something's wrong with you. Get help, seek help. So I think to myself, I'm 16, I'm a virgin, I'm pregnant. You know who else was 16, a virgin and pregnant? Mary. I'm carrying Jesus. I am like literally #blessed, you guys. Like I am like super pregnant with like super Jesus. So I'm like kind of excited. You know, I'm like, yay, me. So I go tell my mom and I'm like, Mom, I'm pregnant. She's like, oh my God, who's the father? What's that? And I'm like, oh my God, I was right, Mom. It's God. She's like, God? God? Like, God? And I'm like, yeah, he chose me. And Mom's like, oh honey, he didn't pick you. You're a horrible person with no prospects in life and no real talent. He would have picked anyone else. And then she's like, Rich, get in here. She thinks, oh my God. One, she thinks she's pregnant. That's just, who would have sex with her? But God is the father. She thinks God is the father. So after that really fun car ride to CVS with my mom's everlasting love and support, found out that I'm not pregnant. But you know what? I think God really did pick me because I'm childless, I'm STD free, and I got my mom's good qualities. All right, thanks a lot, you guys. I really appreciate it.
Let her hear it, everybody. Let her hear it. Your next comedian, very funny guy. You might have seen a couple of his videos on YouTube. A whole lot of fun. Go check him out after the show. Enjoy his set. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, John, everybody.
How's everybody doing tonight? Awesome, awesome. A great crowd. I heard all the laughs and everything. Hopefully I can get one. So help me with that. I want to let you guys know I figured out something. And I'm going to let you in a little secret. Okay? I have figured out a way that you can convince people to do whatever you want with the cunning use of accents. I know a little bit about wine. I'm not the biggest connoisseur, but I decided to test one of my French friends out. I decided I was going to go to a nice wine store, find an expensive bottle. Picked up a bottle of Opus 1, 2009. And then I went to the corner store and picked up a bottle of Mad Dog 2020. The guy gave me a brown bag. I took it out to kind of fool Pierre. So I called Pierre over. I'm like, Pierre, which one of these wines do you think is the best? He looks at the two bottles. He said, Mad Dog 2020, I don't know too much about. However, this Opus 1 2009 from the Napa Valley is a Puppies. If it's not French, it's Puppies. I go with the Mad Dog 2020. So now I got a couple bottles in my fridge because I believed him he was French. Because as people, we associate accents with regions. You know, for example, I don't know if you picked it up, I can't have an accent myself. I'm Jamaican. I know you don't believe me, I didn't say it with an English accent. They convince everybody everything. Can I get a round of all the people that are Jamaican in the house? Thank you. Can I also get a round for the people that are Jamaican that people think you know where to find good weed? There you go. People are convinced that Jamaicans know where to find a good spot. Like me, I don't have a clue, but if I told you that this high grade going to get you so rascal high, you, God, Muhammad, and Jesus all going to hang out at one time. But the mother of all accents, thank you. The mother of all accents has got to be a British accent. I'm 100% convinced, forgive me, I was drinking, 100% convinced that a British accent can get everybody anytime. Contrary to popular belief, the world is actually flat. Yes, turns out that Copernicus, Christopher Columbus, and also Galileo were wrong. Back to you in the newsroom. Can you imagine an English car salesman? That's like gotta be the worst thing. You'd be like, Winston, come here, how much is for this 2005 Toyota Corolla? That 2005 Toyota Corolla there is valued at a whopping $100,000. All of a sudden you're financing a Toyota Corolla for $100,000. Because you believe him, he's got a British accent. You know, but as Americans, I really can't get upset because we've been fed this propaganda of British intelligence since World War II. All our information came from the Brits. Winston calls up Roosevelt. Hello, Mr. Roosevelt. How are you doing? Winston here. Yes, Churchill. Things are going terrible over this side. Turns out that Germany has a secret weapon. They're calling it the Death Star. Yes, yes. And there's a gentleman by the name of Lord Vader who's running it. If you don't mind, send us over more planes, personnel, tanks, bombs, and apparently the Force. Not quite sure what the force is, but we do have British intelligence working on it right now. But I have figured out one thing too. The British trust Americans. If you don't believe me, ask Tony Blair. George Bush calls him up. Mr. Blair, how you doing? Kind of have a bit of pickle here. We're trying to pin Saddam on some WMDs. We need your help. Thank you very much. I was at a club the other day. I met this British girl. She asked me if I knew where to find good weed. Automatically, my Jamaican arrogance kicked in. I told her yes. She also told me that she didn't have a man. I believed her. She had a British accent, didn't really have much of a choice. So I was fortunate enough to make it back to her place. Started handling my business, as all Jamaicans should, because we're not only known for weed. So I'm in the room taking care of business, you know, doing my thing. And out of nowhere, I hear the door open. This guy walks in. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Britannia. Darling, are you okay in there? You're making kind of some odd noises. I've never heard them before. I guess you're not feeling well. Let me make some tea for you, perhaps. She's not feeling well at all. I kid you not, this guy walks right in the bedroom, sees me with his wife. And I'm from Jamaica. You step on my shoes, I'm liable to kill you. That's how Jamaicans are. I'm in here dealing with this woman's wife, and he walks in like, excuse me, sir. Terribly sorry to bother you. Do you care for some tea? All right, thank you very much. My name is John.
Come on, keep it up for John, guys. Well, we sure hope you had a great time tonight. We're going to have one more comedian for you. If you guys had a good time, you guys liked what you saw here, we actually do stand-up classes here. We've got another round of stand-up comedy classes starting on March 10th. That's Thursday night. That goes for 7 weeks. If you're like, I don't want to write, I just want to make shit up. Cool. Thursday night, March 10th, we also have a beginner's improv class, where that's all you do is just make shit up. If you don't know what improv is, come check us out tomorrow night. We have an improv show. Tomorrow's show's going to be a lot like that show, Whose Line Is It Anyway, if you guys are familiar with that show. Yeah, cool show. So come check that out as well. And then if you got teenagers that would like to do improv, or if you just want to kick them out for an hour and a half a week, we're going to be starting that March 15th here on Tuesdays from 6:30 to 8. So we hope you had a great time tonight. Did you guys have fun? Yeah. Great. Your headliner tonight is a very funny guy. He's one of the cast members of Sick Puppies Comedy. Man, you guys are in for a treat. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Ben Brocard, everybody!
Hey guys. Hi. Oh, somebody knows me. God, wow. So, you guys know how when you're a little kid, you think your parents are the smartest people in the world and they have all the answers? Then you become a teenager and you think, like, my parents are idiots, they don't know anything. And then you become an adult and you realize they were actually just pretty racist. Just me. You know, my parents weren't actually that bad. I'll tell you the worst thing my parents ever did to me. I was 3 years old. We were at a carnival. And I had gotten this balloon that I really liked. I was really excited about this balloon, and when we were leaving the carnival, my dad was carrying it. And when we got in the car, before he sat down, he just looks at me and lets the balloon go. And I was 3 years old. I was crushed. It made me cry. I was like, Dad, why'd you let the balloon go? I love the balloon, Dad. Why'd you let it go? And he just looked at me and said, someday you'll understand, son. Yeah. And then 2 years later, he abandoned us. I'm clearly fine, but yeah, just one day he said he was going to the store to get a pack of balloons and he never came back. So I hate my job. Yeah?
Thanks, cool. It's like, it's just the worst. And I think about things I could do instead of my job, you know, something to get me out of the office. And I thought, like, maybe I could become an Uber driver. I took an Uber ride for the first time recently. And it was interesting, you know, I was talking to the driver, I got to know him a little, like he's 43 years old, he works in a hospital by day, and he was doing the Uber thing to pay for his med school loans. Yeah. But no, that's not even the most interesting thing. The most interesting thing was that he looked really good for his age. So I was like, dude, what's your secret? You know, you're 43, you look really young. And he said, I'll tell you, I learned this at the hospital. Most people don't believe me. Every morning, I put Pepto-Bismol on my face. Yeah, a lot of you guys are just looking at me like, okay, that's normal. Yeah, what else? That's fucking weird. He puts Pepto-Bismol on his face. But the thing that made me excited about it was that I realized I just met a real-life version of a one weird trick doctors don't want you to know ad from the internet. And it's super exciting because I know now that I'm going to be really close to meeting some hot singles in my area. Alright, so maybe Uber's not it. I'll tell you, this is my one idea that I think is really going to get me out of the office, right? I'm going to retire off this. You guys ready? It's a giant, wide-brimmed black hat to wear at funerals, and it's called the sombrero. I'm gonna be working at the office forever, huh? It's just, I hate going in there every day because I have to make polite conversation with people that I would never normally talk to, you know? Like, there's always a person who wants to tell me what they made for dinner last night. I don't care, you know? And he's always going like, oh, man, I made the best chili the other night. You should have tried some. You know, I tell you, the secret is you put a little hot sauce in there, you put a little cayenne pepper, you put a little molasses. I'm just like, so the secret's the recipe. Okay. Or like a conspiracy theorist. Do you guys have an office conspiracy theorist? Anybody? Yeah, like, you know we didn't land on the moon, right? We didn't have that technology. It's crazy what they believe. And I don't want to make it sound like I don't believe in any conspiracies, because I believe in some of them. Like, I really think the government puts a chemical in the water supply that makes women not want to have sex with me. It's the only explanation. But really, most of them are crazy. Like the one, have you ever heard the one where if you fold a $20 bill a certain way, it looks like the Twin Towers? Like if you sort of zigzag it, like people think that that's a real thing that somebody purposely put there. Like they had an Illuminati meeting when they were setting up the whole thing. And the leader's like, all right, everything looks good. Anybody have anything else they want to add? And like just the weird Illuminati guy named Jim's hand shoots up from the back of the room and he's like, do you guys read Mad Magazine? What does that have to do with what we're talking about here, Jim? Well, you know on the back, if you fold the picture, it looks like another picture. Yeah. Well, I want to do that, but with this. What the fuck are you talking about, Jim? You know, foreshadowing, like in Breaking Bad. And if you guys don't think the Illuminati had Breaking Bad years before we did, then you need to wake up. Then the leader just goes, God damn it, Jim. That is brilliant. Get the Treasury on the phone right now. We're going to get these things minted up. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, those people, or like people who want to talk about politics at the office, like I don't want to hear that somebody's a Trump supporter that I work with, you know? Like, it would just be, it'd be terrible. And the people have the worst reasons for supporting him. Like I hear people say all the time that like, oh man, you know, I like that guy because he says what's on his mind, you know? He's just honest. He speaks his mind. As if it doesn't matter that what's on his mind is, like, horrific. Really, like he's walking up there and saying, like, you know, the other day somebody asked me if I wanted to donate $1 to children in need. And I said, how about those kids get a job? I propose I'm going to have children build these walls to keep Mexico out. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's fucking crazy. That's like if I were talking to a friend of mine and I said, yeah, man, you know, that Jeffrey Dahmer was a monster. And my friend said, yeah, well, you know, he wasn't afraid to follow his dreams. You gotta admire that. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, my job is not the best, but I did recently get a promotion. Thank you. So, like, I still want to do good at it, even if I don't like it, you know. I don't want to be, even if I worked at a gas station, I'm not gonna sell beer to the guy who's clearly just 3 kids inside of a trench coat, you know? Like, stacked up. So, that's just such a funny image. But yeah, so like, getting a promotion's cool, but the worst part about the promotion was that I had to train my replacement. And I don't know if you guys have ever had to look over someone's shoulder and like watch them use a computer when they might not be good at using a computer. But it's just, it's torturous, man. It's like, I had to sit there and watch this guy and say stuff like, okay, you gotta resize this window, right? But you can't use the maximize button, so you're gonna have to click and drag. No, you gotta click and drag it. No, just click and drag. Just drag it. No, you know how the mouse goes, just do the part and just drag it and just, yeah, in the corner of the window. Yeah, but not where the X is. No, not the X. No, don't click the X. Oh. I'm watching this happen and I had an epiphany and I realized, oh my God, this is how women feel when I'm trying to unhook their bra. So, I apologize for that. Yeah, so it's, I don't want to make it sound like everyone else is the worst and I'm not the worst, because I can be the worst. I'll tell you one quick story before I go about how I was the dick at work one time. And it was when I first started working there. I was only there for like a month, and I used to have to work really closely with this woman named Karen. And she was very nice, she'd been there a very long time, and we used to have to do a lot of stuff together. And one day they called a meeting, and they said, okay, the stuff that you guys do together is gonna be changing, but it's gonna be a lot more efficient, it's gonna be great, you're gonna love it. Awesome. The only problem was that Karen had called out sick that day, and so she missed the meeting. So now I have to be the guy to train her in all this new stuff. And like, I've only been there a month, and she's been there over a decade, and I have to be like, all right, Karen, listen, things are gonna change around here. Don't worry. Any questions you have, you can come to me. We're gonna get through this together. Like, oh, I just felt like the worst, you know? So I'm dreading the day she comes back. So a couple of days go by, and they call another meeting. And I'm like, how are they gonna make this worse for me? Like, how could this possibly, how am I gonna look douchier than I already was gonna look? So I go into this meeting, and they sit us all down, and they let us know that Karen had died the day before. Yeah. And my reaction was just, whoo! Major bullet dodged. And a good opportunity to sell some sombreros. All right, that's all for me tonight, you guys. Thank you very much. You guys were awesome. Thanks for coming out.
Well, folks, that's the end of our show. We hope you guys had a good time. Did you guys have fun? Let's get our comedians out here one more time so you guys can let them hear it. Come on out, guys. Let them hear it. Standing ovation. Let them hear it, guys. They deserve it. They busted their ass over the last 7 weeks. I couldn't be prouder. We are Sick Puppies Comedy. We hope you had a great night. Thank you so much. Drive safe. Good night.